Hello and welcome to the monthly review for April. As I speak, we are but a few days away from the general election, and as the polls and the TV pundits are all reporting, the outcome is just too close to call. My election special is therefore not so much about who we should be voting for, or indeed how the next government should be made up, but more about the changes the last government made to kickstart the housing market, and what I think the future government may want to concentrate on to ensure the recovery is sustainable. I think we all know now that a healthy housing market is key to the success of the wider economy. So what should a long-term housing policy look like, and what is important going forward? Let's start by taking a look at why we're having a mini housing boom at the moment and where this is likely to lead. The housing market is driven by the same forces as most other commodities that are bought and sold, namely supply and demand. As the balance between sellers and buyers changes, then of course prices change too. More properties available and fewer buyers means a greater choice, a slower speed of sale, more discounting to attract a purchaser, and possibly falling house prices. Turn things the other way around, and you have fewer homes for sale, say, more buyers looking to buy, more mortgage funds available, and this means perhaps less choice, fewer discounts, and probably increasing prices. As we take a look at what's happened in Witney and the surrounding villages, we can see that over the last 3 years, the total number of properties in the market at the beginning of May each year has been falling steadily. These, of course, are the total number of homes on the market for sale and under offer or sold subject to contract. When we take a little deeper look, not only is the total supply lower, but the number of those still for sale, shown here in red, has dropped, whilst the number of under offer or sold subject to contract properties, again shown here in blue, has increased. It's a double effect, whammy effectively, on the number of properties that are for sale. Add to the mix an increasing number of buyers able to achieve mortgages, and a strong imbalance starts to occur. So where could this lead? Well, after 31 years in the business, I've seen my fair share of booms and busts, and I know what to look out for. I think we are some way from a crash, so don't be worried, but really something does need to change. In my January review, I highlighted everything that has been done in the current Parliament to help buyers, such as obviously changing the stamp duty thresholds, help to buy schemes, affordable homes initiatives, and falling unemployment, which of course then in turn leads to greater job security. There's higher loan to value mortgages out there with lower interest rates, etc. But if we don't change our focus in the coming Parliament to increasing the supply of property, I think prices will eventually climb too high and the bust could follow boom again. It really is time to act, and I think act now. What does this mean? Let's start by having a quick look at the data for Witney and the surrounding villages so far this year. And here you can see that the blue line showing the total number of properties on the market is climbing, albeit relatively slowly, possibly due to the positive caution mood that I mentioned in last month's video. However, the number of properties still for sale for you to choose from, shown here in red, isn't rising at all. And what Witney needs, and it's the same pretty much across the country, is more stock. But where will these homes come from? The term brownfield sites is one that you might be familiar with. This is currently unused but previously developed land. Old warehouses, for example, factories, storage facilities, offices, etc. We should look at where these sites could be redeveloped sensibly and sympathetically before we go out and build on our beautiful countryside. Brownfield sites alone could provide up to 200,000 new homes across the country before we touch a single field. Affordable homes, of course, should be an integral part of any housing plan, but government, local and central, need to carefully consider how hard they clobber developers for affordable home elements and Section 106 agreements. Currently, any site comprising 10 units or less does not need to make a contribution towards affordable homes, and I think in all honesty this is probably about right. Historically, this number has been as low as 2 properties or more, which has resulted in falling land values, meaning that landowners simply didn't want to sell and builders were reluctant to build. I think we should look at increasing the number of local development orders. This is where brownfield sites almost have pre-approved planning for development into residential, and maybe an extension to the central government funding scheme to encourage the development of these brownfield sites. We've already seen quite a bit of this sort of development in and around Witney, particularly around Station Lane, but there's still a vast amount of unused land across Witney, and let's get it back into good use, and let's do it quickly. So what does this all mean to you? Well, of course, it depends on your personal circumstances, but if you are a homeowner, it means that the value of your home is almost certainly higher today than it was just 6 or 12 months ago. If you'd like an up-to-date valuation, please contact me personally. If you're looking to buy a property at the moment, today's market conditions probably mean less choice, high prices and less time to think things through. What I also know is that the current rate of house price growth is unsustainable and puts our long-term financial well-being in some danger. Let's ensure we retain the help that's been made available to buyers over the last Parliament and hope that the next government will really get stuck into sorting out the current homes shortage. I think it's there to be done. Thank you very much indeed for watching this month's video. If you have any questions or queries, then do get in touch. I look forward to seeing you again next month when the current level of uncertainty will be way behind us and we'll all be back on the road to a stable, a confident and a buoyant housing market. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.